Ladies of Reddit, how did a guy ruin their chances with you? On our first date, he picked me up with his baby in the backseat and an open beer in the cup holder. What kinda Ricky Bobby shit is this? If you ain't first, you're last. Obviously the kid was the designated driver. Why else would they be there? Met a guy at a wing restaurant after I got off work. The majority of the time we were there, he talked about his ex-wife. After he finished eating, he asked if I wanted to get frozen custard or see a movie. I told him I'd rather watch a movie, dietary restrictions end. Since I didn't know the area well, I'd follow him to the theater in my own car. Instead of driving to the theater, he drove to the custard place. He didn't even mention the movie again. Just ordered himself a big custard. This actually made me laugh, like what the fuck? Question mark. That's so weird. My theory? His first date with his ex-wife was to the same wing restaurant and she wanted to go to a movie. He caved, even though he really wanted custard. Now he's seeing what happens in the branching storyline if he decides screw it. I want custard. He gets the same bad ending, but this one happens earlier in the storyline. I have read through so many of these stories, but the image of a self-satisfied guy sitting there eating a custard just absolutely broke me. He told me he was really strong and if he wanted to, could probably beat me to death pretty easily. But never would because he wouldn't hit a girl. Because he's a nice guy. Ah yes, the classic one. 15 minutes longer and he would have shown you his katana collection. Edit. Holy shit, this blew up and thank you for gold. This is my wafer pillow. I would like to replace it with you one day, wink. He talked so much about himself I barely got any time to say anything. So it ended up with me just saying no. Yeah, up. Cool, and him not asking a single question about me. That guy really just took himself out on a date. Probably fucked himself that night. I went out once with someone who brought a pair of glasses to our first date and asked if I would wear them the entirety of our relationship. He already knew I didn't wear glasses, so he had gone ahead and put in fake lenses for me. When I asked why, he said it was because he always imagined himself marrying someone who wore glasses. Also, he told me that he found those glasses on the floor at the movie theater. Lucky me. So how's married life going? Are your floor glasses still going strong? This is truly the weirdest one. He told me if he wanted to, he could rape me. Then he asked me how I would respond. I said by calling the cops on him. He said that would ruin my life and scar me forever. I have never noped out of a situation so fast in my life. This reminds me of the worst pickup line someone ever attempted on me. Roses are red. Violets are blue. We're going to have sex. 'Cause I'm stronger than you. Needless to say, tiny 15-year-old me noped the fuck out of there real fast and told my boss he could finish the snow removal outside the bar door himself. Edit. I commented this below. But since people are asking, I wasn't working at the bar at 15. I was working in a separate hotel restaurant as a busser. And there was also a bar in said hotel. The management was the same for the whole place. Long story short, our hotel maintenance guy was out sick. A blizzard hit. And the one manager who couldn't tell his head from his ass was working that night. The restaurant was slow. So naturally he decided the barely 5-foot, 15-year-old female was the best person to shovel the entire corner of sidewalk outside the hotel. The guy who said what he did was some drunk guy in his 40s or 50s who stumbled out of the bar while I was shoveling that side of the walkway. Less a pickup line, more a threat, really. When he said it would be my fault if he killed himself, then spammed me with photos of himself with a rope around his neck. He was sitting down on the couch and just had the rope draped around his neck. I told him that I wasn't responsible for any decisions he made for himself and then blocked him. That's fucking disgusting of him. How do people even come up with shit like that? My ex, who was 2 years older than me, not a big age difference, but I was 13, he was 15/16. My first relationship did a similar thing. We were having a rough patch. Both mentally ill but not diagnosed or treated. He was freaking out on the phone cause he was depressed, saying he's gonna kill himself. He texted me pics of his arm cut up and said he was gonna carve my name in his arm. I told him not to and to stop cutting himself. He said if I really loved him I'd CTR his name in my arm too. Being naive and in love I did it. He did not. So for almost 10 years I had first name, last name scarred on my arm. Among other scars I have it covered in tattoos now, but fuck, that was shitty. Some scumbag did that to my daughter. I explained to her that was a form of control abuse, and if he tells you again, call the cops and let them know he wants to hurt himself, or to tell a teacher if he does it at school. He stood outside the window of my dorm room at 3 AM yelling and doing karate moves on the dumpster. So yeah, dude fought a dumpster for me. He attempted to slay the mightiest beast he could find in order to display his prowess and impress you. How romantic. He was a friend of a friend. First thing he says when he meets me is, I know this will make you uncomfortable, but you have the best fucking tits out there. This was before a hello or anything. Just straight to the point. You have the best fucking tits out there. Thanks, yours are very nice too. I feel like you probably knew everything you needed to know after I know this will make you uncomfortable. He thought that being witty requires making fun of every person in his life. On a date at a restaurant, and a heavy woman walks by our table. He snorts and says sort of under his breath, "Fucking pig." Date over. I don't understand putting down other people to try to impress me. I'm also surprised by men who do this. What do they think? That you're gonna be like, yay what a pig, am I right lol. We were chatting and he seemed cool before saying I'm basically the real life version of BoJack Horseman. He then could not comprehend why that's not an attractive comparison. Even after boasting he has seen the whole series 4 times. Yeah, I'm basically Rick from Rick and Morty. That's a good thing, right? A boyfriend of a few days told me I should start gymnastics again after telling him I used to. I asked why and he responded with, "It'd help you lose weight." I was 110 pounds. Losing 200 pounds or whatever of dead weight boyfriend was definitely the better way to go. Good choice. He straight up said to me, "I'm just an alpha. You know? A lot of people can't handle that." I took an incorrect study about wolf families and turned it into my entire personality. I need an excuse to be an asshole. A lot of people can't handle that. One guy showed up 40 minutes late. Wouldn't get off his phone. Only grunted at me instead of talking. And then called me a fat ugly whore American when I said I wasn't interested. Another guy stood me up the first time. Then when he did show up, looked nothing like his picture. He was rude to the wait staff and kept talking to me about a show I'd said I'd never seen. He said he'd pay since he stood me up before, but then complained my waffle was expensive. It was $6 compared to his $10 entree. And then for the big finale, he tried to take me to Walmart. Oh come on. Who doesn't want a nice romantic trip to Walmart on a first date? Call me old fashioned, but going to Walmart is at least an $8 waffle and second date kind of a thing. He made several racist comments about his co-workers. I called him out. He said he couldn't be racist because he is a feminist who loves women. Another complained about Vietnamese restaurants hiring Vietnamese people and how it ruined the atmosphere to hear them exist. What the fuck? Gave him a ride home from a party in my hometown I was visiting for the holidays. Got to his house. He started crying about how cruel and unfair it was for him to have met me because now he knows there's someone as perfect out there as I am, but it'll never happen since I live in another state. It took me nearly 2 hours to get him out of my car because he was just crying and holding this giant tub of cheese balls in his lap. Yes, he was sober. And yes, this was the first time we had met. Eater, holy crap. This blew up. And gold? Thank you. Kind stranger. And thank you. Cheeseball guy. It's because of you I got to experience this glory. For those interested, I shared the full story here. The giant tub of cheese balls really pushed this over the edge for me. I'm still laughing. It was 4 years ago and I can still see those damn cheese balls as clear as day. The whole night was the most surreal trip. This is seriously just a higher level summary of all the craziness that went on. I spent so much time in that car staring at the cheese balls and wondering how my life had come to this. Told me that if we became a couple this was on the first date that he expected sex whenever he wanted. I explained that I wasn't about to do that. And was countered with, well, if I'm your boyfriend I deserve it. Apostrophe. Nope the fuck out of that. Happy to say I'm now married to a wonderful person who's not a creep. Well, at least he had the courtesy to hold up the red flag where you couldn't possibly miss it. What a dick. I was friends with a guy from work that I kind of liked. After we hung out with some other friends, he walked me to my car. I had to leave to get home for curfew. He leaned on the car door and wouldn't let me leave and told me I was lying about having a curfew. I was really creeped out. He kept wanting me to kiss him while he basically wouldn't let me get in my car. I told him we shouldn't because if we weren't sure we are going to date, it would make our friendship weird. Later he told me I was right about not kissing because I wasn't emotionally mature enough to handle a relationship. Dodge a big bullet there. More like too emotionally mature to let him control you. That guy can eat a big bag of dicks. By shouting fucking seriously? Exclamation point. I spent all night talking to you and you're leaving with some random asshole? Exclamation point. Across a porch at me when I left to take my very drunk friend home. By greeting me by saying, oh you're here. I was just thinking of ordering a red-headed slut when I arrived to the bar. Edit. Bloody hell I know it's a shit drink. If I ever greet someone like that I want my friends to punch me in the teeth. I had one guy bite me on the first date. No way I was having a second with a non-consensual vampire. Vampires are always like that though. Very nice and seemingly normal if not slightly awkward guy decided to give me a t-shirt with his face on it after the first date. Hahaha. That's actually kinda hilarious. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more Reddit videos.